Good morning, happy Tuesday. I went to switch on my usual music for our classes and it said, would I prefer Tuesday jazz bossa nova? And I'm like, why not? Everyone I interacted with this morning and online and on text said that they were disappointed by such a dark, cold day. And so we have that power to elevate it and change it. Simply by the music, what kind of lights I turn on. Today I put makeup on. Maybe there's a certain outfit you can put on and you have the power to change what it is that you're feeling and experiencing in most cases. So ironically, today's reading is on waking up. In that first moment of awareness, when you awaken, you are in a different type of consciousness. You're not entirely awake, yet you are no longer asleep. You're in a quiet place, a place of pause that is somewhere in between. One morning upon waking, see if you can stay in that place of quiet. Don't rush to get out of bed, don't rush to look at your phone, maybe don't even rush to look at the time. I think my retired friends are better at doing this than us with young families or still working. See if you can stay in that place of quiet, not falling back to sleep and not rushing forward in your day, that hanging there. Stay in that pause and in that open state between sleep and alertness, allowing your brain to hover in the transition between the sleeping and the waking worlds. Appreciate the experience of living in these two worlds simultaneously. Remind yourself that there are always more corners of your consciousness to explore. And I think that's why some people do use psychoactive drugs, mushrooms, different types of cannabis, because there's this fascination with peeking behind the curtain that our brain, what do they say, we use, I'm going to make up a number, 4% of the capacity or 10% of capacity of what we actually have. The idea that there's more to our intelligence than what we see, that's pretty exciting. In yoga, I'm going to tie it back in, sometimes we just need that reminder to stop and pause. Maybe it's in Shavasana that you have this reminder, and maybe for you it's when you're in an uncomfortable pose and later you make a connection. Some of you write to me some pretty profound things after your experience of the class. Okay, so I thought because this music is crazy upbeat, I feel like we're in a friend's coffee shop, why don't we start with the sun salutations, which is a Shivananda way of starting yoga. I'm just waking up, my coffee hasn't kicked in, and so I'm going to use a physical coffee, our sun salutations. So we'll do a couple rounds of that like we normally would. Maybe I'll do them a little more, maybe I'll do one slow to get the breath work going, and then we'll do a couple vigorous ones, and then we'll kind of do things backward. And I selfishly will be doing hips probably as the focus because a lot of you have explained to me that that is your favorite part to do right now, and I think that goes back to sitting. So, without further ado, let's come to the top of our mat. I'm going to come in the middle so you can see me better. We're going to inhale, arms up, spread arms wide. So first I'm going to pause, almost like, what's that statue in Portugal? Rio de Janeiro? Not Portugal, Rio de Janeiro. John the Great, John the Baptist. So I'm going to stretch up. Oh, and I'm going to take that present up to the sky and then arc it behind me. And then back to center, and then maybe arc to the left. Back to center and arc to the right. Wide arm swan dive. Oh. You're going to hear a lot of sound effects. Half back, fold, plant, come onto your knees, and lower your heart between your hands. One breath, sleeping cobra. Point your toes. Press the tops of your feet down to the mat. Press your palms into the mat. Press your forehead down. So this is active sleeping cobra. I'm going to pick up my head, baby cobra. Feel the red cage root down. Press back into downward dog. I'm going to look back at your feet. Initially, I'm on the balls of my feet. This kind of place between high up on my tiptoes and flat on my heels. And that's because my calves are going to kind of control initially how flexible this pose is. So, can you walk it in a bit and attempt to drop the right heel, but don't bend any knees. Looks pretty intense in the calf, and then you're going to come back over to the ball of your right foot and drop your left heel. And do this a few times, no bent knees, stretching the back lines of your body. Right foot forward, left foot back, pause, press into that front foot, root to rise here, reach up, your choice, up and down, or arc. Hands release, Option to come up on the black ball of the left foot and attempt to straighten the right foot, forward fold. Feet together, fold, rise, heart center. Inhale up, pass the present behind you. Oh, back to center, reach to the left. There's a good crack. Reach up, arc to the right. Wide arm swan dive. Half back, fold, plant, hop. I'm trying to slowly wake you up. Sleeping cobra, forehead presses down, palms press down, elbows hug in. Feet untucked, tops of the feet press down. I'm just going to activate the calves and the feet. Pull it all into the center. I'm engaging my belly, my bum. And then pick up your head from this place of rigid engagement. Head up, baby cobra. Tuck your toes, press back dog. High on the ball of my feet. We'll do this first version. So I'm going to look at my hands, the width of my mat. Press my heart towards my thighs. Oh my. Lift the heels higher if you're able to. And this is one variation that I'm often asked to do if I'm in a more vigorous class. And then dropping the heels is the variation you'll see in a lot of posters and pictures of yoga of downward dog. This is not available to a lot of people. Feel how long and stretched, overstretched my hamstrings have to be to make this happen. So you're going to find somewhere in the middle. Maybe elevate the heels, maybe fully come into tiptoes, maybe bend your knees and bring your heels down. Oh, that's intense. Left foot forward, right foot back. High lunge. I'm again only doing my high lunges because my right knee is intense. Hands release. Option to lift that back right heel. Option to try to straighten the left leg, forward fold. Feet together. Fold. Rise. Heart center. I don't know about you, but this fast, crazy music is throwing me off. But guess what? It's good to be knocked off of your comfort level once in a while. We talk about samskaras. My samskara is to go to deep, intense, new age music. Inhale up, we'll do one more round on each side. Pass behind you. Oh, back to the center, reach up. Engage the core, arc to the left. Back to the center, reach up, arc to the right. Wide arm swan dive. Half back. Fold, plant, hop, lower. 2 breaths, sleeping cobra. How about this time you don't have to make it so active, it's your choice. Palms press down. It's going to open the front of the heart. Elbows hug in. Thighs close together. Maybe even your toe pads touch and press the top of your feet down. Engage your core. What do you notice about your lower back making all these adjustments? One more breath, sleeping cobra. Pick up your head. Look forward. Maybe come a little higher, baby cobra. Tuck. Press back, downward dog. Option to walk the feet in and drop the heels again, pressing your heart towards your thighs. That's intense. Right foot forward, left foot back, high lunge. Rise. Woo. I'm going to fall over. I'm tight. It's affecting my joints. Option to sink a little deeper. Doesn't this remind you of Warrior One? Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. And the last one, I want you to have a speedy experience. Some of you like this, some of you don't. If you don't like how fast I'm going, you shut me out and you make it your practice. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Half back, fold, plant, hop, lower. Sleeping cobra, 1 breath. Pick up your head, baby cobra, or up dog. Down dog. Left foot forward, right foot back. High lunge. Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. Let's come to our typical resting pose, supported squat. Woo! Now I will say this, by listening to my knee and making some modifications to my practice the last 2 weeks, it's been less of an issue when I go to walk up those steep stairs in my bedroom. Our bedroom is in the attic, which adds a level of awareness to each step I take. Quite often this happens that we get on autopilot, especially in our homes, until something doesn't feel right in our body, which takes us out of our autopilot and makes us be more present to what's going on. So, how long could you sit like this? Maybe, if you feel you have tight hips, you're gonna sit up like this. So maybe you choose to do this against the wall or on some blocks, and the blocks are about to fall. And you set a timer for 5 minutes, and you use that time to move your body into a shape that you're not typically in for your meditation. Especially if you don't normally do meditation, this is like, I hate this phrase, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You need to come up with another version of that. Because the skinning the cat version isn't very positive either. They make the point. How can we remove them from our everyday vernacular? I'm going to take 2 more breaths here, close my eyes. I feel there's a lot of stretching happening in my lower back, tailbone area. Palms press into each other, heart stands up. Head is normal and stacked, just regular. 1 more breath. Oh, that's super awesome. And then release. I'm going to get rid of these blocks, and we're going to come down onto our mat. Little tiny bit of floor work, and then come back up to our hip work. So, knees to chest. My knees automatically go often 1 fist width. That's just my hip structure. Some of us are pressing together, some of us are wider. Pulling the thighs towards the mic and feeling pulled towards my rib cage, and pressing the lower back down to the floor. Can you also press the shoulder girdle down, and what's going to happen is a stretching and opening of your chest. Several of you have told me how tight these pecs are, so don't forget about your cactus or T. Even just this is a good pause to do, maybe after your lunch. And each breath I take out, my thighs fall a little wider so that I'm almost in a passive frog pose here. Keep breathing and noticing what's happening in those hips. Oh. Now, you may say this is enough for you. You don't need to go any further. You may flex your feet. Now I really am in frog, turned upside down. So I made my mouse sachets last night. Some of you follow it on Facebook. One of my cousins said she mixes equal parts of cinnamon, cloves, star anise, which I put in my coffee grinder, chili. So I mix equal parts of this all these spices, put in a jar, and then I happen to have a bunch of those little bags that you get earrings and jewelry in, made of fabric, drawstring, and I put a couple tablespoons in each bag. I've hung them inside the cupboards where I get the most mouse poo, no matter how. We have 6 sonar mouse things. I have Irish Spring soap in every one. Some years I've had to resort to real traps, and I have these reusable ones, but I don't want to kill the mice. I'd rather they just go somewhere else. So that's what's on today. And then my other friend said she puts peppermint oil on her furnace filter and cotton balls of peppermint oil in all her cupboards. So that's my next trick today. Oh, this is awesome. And I'm gonna close together. Let's do a tiny knees to the floor on the left, right arm open. I have to say, I think doing the sun salutations first is like a warm-up for the body, which is kind of what it was meant to be. Back to center, knees to the right. Can we do it no hands? Oh. I notice a lot of tension, so I want to listen to that in my body. And maybe you need to stay more breaths on one side than the other. It's your body, your practice. Back to center, right leg in, left leg extend, flex, pull that right thigh in, press the lower back down to the floor, it's going to support you, and slowly lower that left leg. Oh yeah. I'm going to take 2 breaths here, squared off. This pose, we talked about it, is meant for initially helping digestion, eliminating air in the belly. Single leg wind relieving pose, but I'm using it as a hip stretch, lower back stretch. Left hand takes right knee over, single leg spinal twist. Check in with the right side of your body. What's happening in the glute and lower back as your body spirals over to the left? And back to center. Thighs to chest, little boat. Left leg in, right leg extends. Pull that leg in. 2 more breaths here. This does not have to be, you can flex or point, whatever feels better when you do this in your body. then finally, right hand takes left knee over single leg spinal twist. Oh, yeah. Now, the other thing I've noticed, I try to look inside my body as I'm having little twinges, and one thing I notice is how do I sit when I'm driving. So I try bringing my seat further back or in closer, whatever. Anything that impacts that right knee, whether you have to have your leg too extended to reach the gas and the brake, or maybe it's too bent at a right angle. So you make these adjustments. I even notice the height of your seat affects your hip, whether it's at a perfect right angle, or if you're too high, your hip is not squared off enough. So making these adjustments in tools that we use every day makes a difference. Back to center, thighs to chest, little hook. I notice that my left arm muscle is getting really intense from vacuuming and chopping so much food. So I'm really training my body to try to use my non-dominant arm to switch up some of the workload. Knees wide one more time, passive frog. Option to turn it into setup for happy baby, hands behind the thighs. And option to come into full happy baby, still or rocking side to side. Back to center, soles of the feet together. Pause. So I'm having possibly, instead of book club this Friday, a virtual ladies gathering. And what I was going to do is, I put it on the Facebook page for the literary ladies, if you're on that group. But if you're also interested in joining us, some of you did come into a yoga one, I'd like to kind of put it together so that it won't be a big group because a lot of people are tired of Zoom. I'm fortunate that I don't have to use it a lot. Feet to the mat, recline goddess. So if you would like to participate and you are not in Literary Ladies, please let me know and I'll send you the link. It'll probably be this Friday, 7 to 9, and often we just have like a glass of wine and we just talk about what's going on in life. And this week I might have some actual set discussion topics so that we don't talk about coronavirus. You could spend hours talking about that. Back to center, knees to chest, feet in the air. Take a moment, we're in a very relaxed legs at the wall. I'm going to roll out my ankles, one direction and the other, fan the toes, and then the legs fall wide. Let's take 3 breaths here, passive stretching. Oh, that feels intense. Inhale 1, exhale. Inhale 2, exhale. And inhale 3, exhale, close your legs and let's roll into our side fetal position and take a pause here. Slowly pressing yourself upright and we're going to come into seated. Do a couple hip things. Center of the way. So, I'm going to pick up my right leg. Left leg is inactive. Right hand grabs the right blade. We've done this before. Pedal one direction and the other. And then I'm going to do it horizontal, making soup or cake. Then I'm going to switch that foot to my left hand, rock the baby. So even if I don't go any further in my practice today, this is awesome. Interlacing hands around the blade, maybe pull it closer towards you. Maybe put it into the crooks of your arm and come into the full experience. And release, shake it out. Left knee bends. I'm going to take my left hand, grab my left blade, and pedal this leg. One direction to the other, then a couple times making soup. And then rock the baby. And look at this, I'm so tight today. I don't know if my traditional way is happening. I'm just gonna listen to my body. And roll out your ankles. Okay, you know my favorite quickie hip position is mermaid. So I'm just gonna pivot both legs bent to the left and attempt to sit upright. Oh my. Sitting up nice and straight. Left sits bone points down towards the earth. You're gonna push your tented fingers into the mat, and try to sit up straight. I wanna stand up straight because I'm opening the chest. I can also add taking my arms behind me, chest puffs. The key here is to try to not lift this left hip. What happens is, for years I was doing this and I'm like, well, this is so easy. Look, my bum is completely off the mat. It's not really the correct pose. We always try to find a fine line between what your body can do and what the pose was intended for. And then switch. Patanjali, who is a yoga philosopher. The Yoga Sutras are what a lot of traditional yoga is based on, especially Iyengar. And he said the perfect pose is achieved when it's effortless. There's a fine line between setting up the bones and you're not really putting any effort into it. And then you see this picture in a magazine, which is like, we call it yoga porn, this ridiculous gymnast version of the pose. And what can I find somewhere in the middle, the happy medium, where my body can make the shape, I can feel some of the benefits, but I'm not causing any pain. Ahimsa, non-harm. And I'm going to shake it out. Soles of the feet together. So initially my body comes into diamond. That may be where I stay. Some of us may bring the heels closer to the bum. Some of us bind our hands. Whew, so tight today. I would like to hear your feedback. I don't know about you, but I'm tighter because I haven't done my class in the same format that we normally do. But guess what? This keeps us completely aware we can't fall into our comfort of our brain. So in this pose, I was following what do you call it? Physiotherapist page the other day. And they were showing somebody doing this pose. They said, actually, you want to never bring the soles fully together, pushing into each other. We often call this opening the book or writing the book. The goal is, I hate that word goal, but can I open the book? Because we talk about this ankle mobility linked to knee mobility, linked to hip mobility. And a lot of it originating in what am I doing in my back. So let's focus on our right foot first. I'm going to open the book. This feels amazing in my ankle, but not everyone's ankle can do this. That's only because my right hip is also relaxed and hypermobile. So there's that. Then I'm going to come to my dominant foot, dominant hip, and attempt to open that book. Well, I see a huge difference. And maybe you use this pose just for observing your hip mobility. And then I'm going to come back to center, open the book without forcing it. I'm going to grab my ankles and bring my chest forward. I will not be forward folding here, too tight. And then release, shake it out. Okay. I think we should do some of our hip stretches. I think it's called, I just want to see if we're okay with time. It's called the dragon. I have heard it called that. We often will take the blocks under our shoulders. If I don't have blocks, what's something else I can use? Bugs. Let's take left foot beside the left block. And I'm going to inchworm right leg back. Untuck. Let's take 2 breaths here and be okay with that. Palms press the floor away, look up. Some people like to drop this out. There's another variation I have seen where you fully bring the hip down and open out, but I don't love this. I don't think that's good for you. So, as my teacher's mantra is, less is more. Pressing right inner arch into the right block, left inner arch into left block, left inner knee to left arm, look forward. Option to tuck the right leg and lift, still squeezing everything to center. Undo, extended child's pose, but leave your hands on the blocks. Spread the fingers, palms root down, fingertips can lift, and slowly lay your forehead down. If my forehead can reach the mat, I get a deeper stretch. Not everyone's able to do this in their shoulders. Chest towards your thighs, bum towards your heels. And then back up. Let's do the other side. Right foot pin. I'm going to do one right on because you can't always see what I'm doing. Let me center it for you. So, right foot beside right block. Pressing right inner knee into right bicep. And right inner arch pressing into that block. What happens is we talk about isometric pressure. I'm bringing all this energy into the center. And I'm going to stay here. 2 breaths, looking slightly forward. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Option to take it further. Inchworm, left leg back, untuck. Oh, that's more intense. Option to tuck the left foot and lift. And here's where we talk about squeezing everything to the midline. Palms press down, right inner knee presses into bicep, look slightly forward. Undo, extended child's pose. Palms are going to stay on the blocks, pressing forehead towards the earth. Press the palms down, fingertips lift and spread. It's going to activate Hasta Bandha, your hand. You may feel this all the way into your mid-back. And then back up. Okay, last pose. Often we talk about how pigeon is used as the pinnacle pose. Let's do it. I'm keeping one block to help support my pelvis, so I'm not going to dump on my knee. Tabletop, your choice. So I'll show you set up for swan. Right knee slides forward, left leg slides back. Let's actually all do this. There's a tendency in yoga to talk about junior, beginner, and intermediate, these two different waves of yoga. My ego immediately wants to sign up for intermediate yoga, but actually, even if your body can move into intermediate yoga flexibility, which we use as a benchmarker, is my mind at that level? Some of my tightest students are actually better yogis in terms of mental ability to slow down and be in the moment. So it's kind of two things happening, body and mind. Our goal is, there's that word I hate, is to kind of bring them together so that who cares how muscular or flexible your body is? Are you stilling your mind? That's all the goal is, really. So I'm in upright swan, knee towards right wrist, left leg extended. I could stay here a little longer. I could take my block, bring my forehead to my block, arms in Sphinx. This feels nice. Trying very hard not to rock into the open left hip or over to the right hip. So you kind of find that center place, the middle way. And then upright yourself. Let's come back to tabletop and switch. Left knee forward towards left wrist crease, right leg back. Possibility of Sphinx. Staying centered. Right hip is quite high, floating over the mat. Left hip is in line with the left knee. 2 more breaths here. And then push yourself upright. Okay, we're gonna come into our final pose, pigeon. I only use this because it's very popular, and what I like about it is it immediately forces your brain into your physical body because of the tension. So, tabletop, right knee forward to right wrist crease, right calf pivots, left leg extends, choosing to stay upright here. I want to take this block under my right butt cheek. You know what? I might even show you from the side. I put it here so that I'm not dumping into that hip. If I stay upright like this, this is really high and intense back bend. Eventually, this is not good for your tailbone. I'm going to come into Sphinx, and I might stay here. I might stack my fists, bring my forehead down, or I might come all the way down, and I can feel this block moving. 2 breaths here. I'm going to call this sleeping pigeon. Inhale 1. Exhale. This is the Sphinx version. Inhale 2. Exhale and inhale 3. Exhale, upright. Come back to tabletop. I'm going to switch to the other side. Left knee forward, right leg back, pivoting that left foot so you can see my foot peeking through. And sticking this block under my left hip. Oh. Usually there's a huge discrepancy between the height of my hips, but I only use these measurements or differences as a marker to see where my body's storing tension from my habits. So I might stay upright, I might come into Sphinx, I might stack my fist, I might fold. Inhale 1, exhale, inhale 2, exhale, and one more time. Inhale 3, exhale, tuck your toe. Oh, you can get rid of that block come onto your bum and swing your leg around. That's the not very elegant way to come out of it. So, this is the box I first grabbed for our final quote for today. Crazy Sexy Love Notes. And, oh, well, it's funny how, oh, here. Oh my gosh, there's a mouse on it. It's meant to be all this mouse talk. I do need to look up what mouse means. Why do they keep coming into my life? Today's one is two mice, and they show a sand hourglass and a clock. And they seem to always show mice and clocks. It's a very fairy tale British thing. You used to always see them in old books. It's time to stop procrastinating. Your current obligations and responsibilities can no longer be put off. Chop, chop. It's time to buckle down and do the work. And again, COVID, this next level of going back within, and the seasons and the weather have given us this time. There's no excuse. The resolution and abundance you seek requires action. Ignore any naysaying voices. Believe in yourself. You can do this. Procrastination comes from the fear that you can't. You will be so relieved and proud when it's over. And think about how elated you feel when you've cleaned out an old closet or made food or sewn something that should have been fixed months ago. There is a good sense of accomplishment when we get something that we've been avoiding doing out of the way. Now, did we feel that way in school? I don't know. Thank you so much for your effort. The good in me sees the good in you, and have a beautiful Tuesday. Namaste.